All right, latest news break coming in on the Panama Papers, where Pakistan's Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif is concerned. He, on his account, has welcomed the Supreme Court judgment and said he will definitely appear before the joint investigation team. Well, that is what the Prime Minister of Pakistan has said. Let's bring in my colleague Kaswar Klasra for more details on this. You know, Kaswar, it's interesting because we have seen his daughter tweet out pictures where she says it's victory. We've seen, his party celebrating, and now this comment coming in by the Prime Minister. A lot of this is bluster as well.
Well, Preeti, you rightly pointed out that Pakistan has not only welcomed the judgment of, the Pakistan's apex court on Panama Papers case, but he's made the one and, an important statement that definitely he will appear before the joint interrogation team that has been constituted by the Supreme Court of Pakistan today. So this is what we are breaking. According to my sources, Prime Minister of Pakistan has been watching the apex court, apex court decision, the judgment, or live on the news channels, and his off-the-record discussion with one of his close aides revealed that it's really a welcome judgment, and he will appear before the joint interrogation team to answer the question what the members of the JIT team can ask. This is what I'm getting from my sources. And also, let me tell you, his son there in London has also welcomed the judgment, and his first, the statement soon after the judgment was delivered, he said, Alhamdulillah, we are hum surkhru ho gaye. This was the statement made. He also welcomed the judgment like his father did today.
All right, stay on with us, Kaswar. Meanwhile, in what can be seen is little respite. It's not all the celebrations that are going on in Pakistan, but there has been some respite for Pakistan Prime Minister. The Supreme Court of Pakistan today ordered formation of a joint investigation team to probe the Panama Papers leak. Both PM Nawaz and his two sons have now been asked to appear in front of the JIT. This means that Nawaz Sharif survives immediate disqualification. However, the sword still hangs over the Prime Minister's head. The JIT is to include officials from the inter-services intelligence and military intelligence and will be led by a Director General level FIA officer. The case against Sharif stems from documents leaked from the Panama-based Mossack Fonseca law firm, which shows that 8 offshore companies were reported to have links with the family of Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and his brother, Chief Minister of Punjab, Shahbaz Sharif. Clearly now the Prime Minister is at the mercy of the army, primarily so because look at the formation of the JIT. One esteemed member of that JIT is the ISI.
ISI is not what you think of. It is
I'm just saying for what it is, sir. They are a member of the joint investigative team. I'm just giving you facts.
They are. But no, it appears absolutely obtuse to you because of your tinted opinion about ISI.
Sir, I am only giving you facts. Tell me. No, sir. Come on. What is, Lieutenant Colonel, what is wrong with the fact in saying that it's a 7-member team? A part of that will be the ISI. Is there anything wrong in that statement?
No, I said it is correct, but you said you comment on this. I am saying that it is just a normal function. Saying this, that he goes on to the mercy of army and ISI, this is wrong. ISI and MI are the government security agencies. They have expertise, they have ability, they have records, and they have the potency to go after things which other agencies cannot. Therefore, the members have been included in the team. Saying this, that Nawaz Sharif Sahab has gone on the mercy of the army is not correct.
No, Mr. Saeed, the Colonel Saeed, the question is, no, we're not saying it, but it's a, and let me bring in our executive editor Gaurav Sawant on this as well. Gaurav, the fact that the Prime Minister has been a puppet Prime Minister has not been lost on anyone. Would you try and explain that to Colonel Saeed there?
No, Colonel Saeed is a member of the was a member of the Pakistan Army. He's a mechanized infantry officer. He knows that well. Whether it's the China policy, the India policy, the US policy, all of that is controlled by the Pakistan Army anyways. No, it's a fact. When there's a terror attack in Afghanistan, Afghanistan's president does not talk to the Prime Minister of Pakistan. He speaks to the Army Chief of Pakistan to sort out terror. That is point one. And point two, why would an officer of military intelligence, Colonel Saab, why would an officer of military intelligence and ISI. So you have an officer of Pakistan's ISI and an officer of Pakistan's military intelligence, both a part of this joint investigation team. So clearly now Nawaz Sharif, if he wants to survive for the next 1 year or perhaps longer, he has to listen to the Pakistan army, come what may.
Gaurav, I think you are talking things, you are jumping ahead of the gun. You are talking things on baseless presumptions. And why army chief speaks to the Afghan president or Afghan government? Because Pakistan and Afghanistan are fighting a war, a menace, which confronts them both, and they need to talk to each other.
All right, we are joined also by our executive editor Gaurav Sawant, who joins me from the newsroom. We also have my colleague Kashwar with us. You know, Gaurav, what are the big takeaways? Let's just look at that today. Number one, I would reckon, is the fact that the sword of disqualification still hangs on Prime Minister Sharif's head. And number two was the point that you have made repeatedly. The Prime Minister now completely at the mercy of the army.
It's a lame duck Nawaz Sharif from this point on. Any point that he doesn't agree with Pakistan's all-powerful army and ISI, they will have some bits of evidence against him and he'll be ousted. So he will, to survive the next 8 months till elections or even during and after elections, he will be now at Pakistan Army's mercy. Because according to the Panama Papers, the evidence is very clear. His son Hassan and Hussein, their money trail, their transactions in the United Kingdom, the house in United Kingdom, also the fact that they're directors. Now, if they were minors at that point of time, as is being contended, so whose money was being stashed abroad? Now, Nawaz Sharif had a letter from the Qatari royals, from the royal family of Qatar, about a certain amount of money that was given to him, which he said was then, invested overseas. But that evidence hasn't been accepted by the Supreme Court in Pakistan. So he's on a very, very sticky wicket at this point of time.
All right, thanks Gaurav for joining us. Let's get in a word from Kashwar Klasra there. Kashwar, let's put this all in perspective on what we are heading towards. In 1 year, Pakistan goes to elections. What could be the implication of this?
Well, definitely an important question. And the answer is Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and his party has succeeded in getting the favorable, the judgment from the Pakistan apex court. So there are celebration across the country. And what interesting is the silence by from the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, Iran. So, in my opinion, Nawaz Sharif has escaped, the horror, and definitely this is going to add to the popularity of his party and himself as well. So the Sharif family stands tall, followed by, the judgment. This is my opinion, and also I'm getting from some of my sources as well. So when you have rightly pointed out that Pakistan is going to have election within a year, I think this judgment is going to add to the popularity of Sharif family, the ruling PML known, and also to the Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif himself.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for joining us. With that, we shift focus to the big development going down south, where the